The good habits are more fun than the bad ones. Now, recently I kind of fell into a little bit of a rut, and I sort of stopped doing a lot of good, healthy habits. I stopped going to the gym for a little while. I stopped um, caring about my screen time as much. Just, I just was all around lazier. I would sleep in and all sorts of stuff. And what's interesting is, even though I was doing all these things that should be kind of fun, right? I was scrolling on social media. I was sleeping in, which is a lot of people say is really, really fun. I was lazy and didn't train at all. Just was all around more of a less productive person. And doing these pleasurable things, I had some fun, right? I at least had some enjoyment from doing these bad habits. And then I realized when I got home, because I was on a trip, I actually have more fun doing good, meaningful, productive work and working to achieve my goals than I do just being lazy and laying around. Because when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. This is a quote from Hamza, I believe. Doing pleasurable things, but feeling guilty afterwards is no pleasure at all. When you do a bad habit, and it may be fun in the moment of you doing that bad habit, but afterwards, but after you do that bad habit, you're gonna feel a sense of kind of shame and kind of like that dirty feeling afterwards. Like, say you cheat on your diet and you eat like a bunch of Krispy Kreme donuts, it's gonna taste and feel amazing, right? While you're eating all those donuts, but afterwards you're gonna feel that sort of shame, that sort of like disappointment in yourself for doing that, because you know that what you did was wrong. And that feeling of guilt, that feeling of shame lasts a lot longer, sometimes multiple days or even a week after the initial 30 seconds of you eating that donut. So as you can see, that's not fun at all. That's fun like a psychopath. You're not a psychopath. But for some reason, in this modern day, we've managed to convince our minds that doing these sort of like bad, dirty habits that make you feel guilty and shameful afterwards are actually fun and actually really enjoyable, when in reality, they're not. They're the opposite. Because when you think about it, it's very difficult for companies to turn a profit from your productivity. It's very difficult for companies to make any money when you're doing all the good habits and not doing any of the bad habits, because the donut company doesn't care if its donuts are full of chemicals and sugar that make it really addictive and very difficult for you to resist eating it. They don't care because they make more money that way. So when you think about it, the cards are literally stacked against us. This modern world is literally designed to make us feel shame. But the truth is, there is a way to resist this. There is a way to no longer be controlled by your bad habits, because I believe this is a quote from Pope Benedict, I believe. You were not made for comfort. The world offers you comfort, but you were not made for it. You are made for greatness. To become great, we have to resist what the modern world tells us to do. To no longer be controlled by bad habits, we have to break free from the control of this modern time that we live in. And this isn't to say don't have fun, right? This isn't to say to never have a good time with your friends or family or whatever. But what I'm getting at here is just doing bad habits for the sake of doing bad habits is not fun at all. It's not pleasurable. It's shameful, and it makes you feel worse. How can we resist this modern world's temptation while still having fun? It's simple. Slowly, and I do mean slowly, remove the bondages that this modern day has given you. If you wake up in the morning and you eat a very unhealthy breakfast, like really sugary cereal and Pop-Tarts and like donuts and pastries and all this stuff, like really unhealthy food, right? The way you could change that and make it so you're no longer addicted to this unhealthy food is to simply remove some of that food every morning over a period of time. So if you eat, let's say your breakfast is like cereal and a little protein, a sugary protein bar, right? Maybe instead the next morning, just don't eat the cereal and instead eat like an egg or like a piece of toast or something. And then later on, you can replace the protein bar with maybe some fruit or yogurt. And then and then your breakfast just turns into eggs and fruit or yogurt. By doing this, you've now replaced an entire meal of your day with healthy, natural foods. What would have happened instead if you just kept eating the same unhealthy food every single morning and feeling bad about yourself? Well, but you'd be able to carry the day with this shame, this sort of guilt of knowing that your breakfast is unhealthy, that knowing that what you're doing is bad for you. By replacing this entire meal with healthy food, you've now undone so much of the control the modern day has on you. You can still very rarely treat yourself and have some cereal, right? But do this very, very rarely because the truth is, it's not even that pleasurable, right? And this analogy of replacing your meals with healthy food can be applied to really anything. If you're constantly skipping the gym, just go to the gym. No, you know what? Don't even go to the gym. If you really are like incapable of bringing yourself to going to the gym and you're that down bad, right? Just do some push-ups on the floor. That's all you have to do is do some push-ups on the floor. But chances are, if you're willing to, get down on the floor and do a couple push-ups, you're probably willing to do a lot more because you've started this momentum. You've started this progress. You've got the ball rolling. If you keep doing this and keeping this momentum building and building and building, you're going to make enormous progress in your life, and you're no longer going to feel so ashamed of yourself, and you're actually going to be able to have more fun than you would be if you were constantly doing the bad habits. That's all I got for today. God bless you, and stay wild.